Hey guys, James here from 5-Star Rating 22. Oh guys, this has been like, sorry that the video's been like slow to get up, but this has been like a knockout, like, I mean, this has been crazy trying to get this done. It's been, like, I'll talk more about it in the end video, or the last video where you guys get to see everything, but it's been like crazy. I mean, I've lived on like no sleep, and it came down to the point where like, tonight's Sunday, I'm doing this recording, the sound audio for tonight's Sunday, so it was my last night to get it done, and it came to, I had to be at work at 11, and it was like 10:45, and it was like, okay, I've got it, like, I got it down to the only thing I had to do left, or last thing I had to do was flock it, and I was like, no, if I flock it, I'm going to be late for work, and I was like, I'm not going to be late for work to get it done, so officially I lost. Didn't make the weekly challenge, but it's okay. It's still a lot of fun. You guys will see the end product. Probably tomorrow night I'll have the last video up. So, but anyways, here what I'm doing is just using the paper plate that I used before to mark off the base for the tower. So I did that, traced that around those shish kebab sticks or whatever they were, the skewers. I'm sorry, bamboo skewers. I just traced out, and it was like 9-inch diameter. Traced that out and then cut that out. When you go to cut this out, get like you know, try to keep the glue just on the circle in the paper. If you leave the parts where you're going to cut it, don't have glue on the edges, you know, like outside the circle or the diameter, you'll do a lot better off, you know, when you glued it to the paper. It makes it a lot easier to cut it. And then get one of those nice, like, little saw X-Acto accessories. Those things work great. That's what I used, and that's awesome. So then I just glued that down to the base, making sure to get that nice and flat. I just used regular old Elmer's glue for that too. And then what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take and measure out a door frame. So I did it 3 inches wide by 3.5 inches high. I remember that. And I'm just going to do like an old style, like just the block frame. I figured I'd just cut out the whole door frame at once instead of just building it up from the blocks. Save me a little time. So I just used my handy dandy hot wire cutter from Woodland Scenics. I did double check that, and yep, it was still on there. I could still see the Woodland Scenics sticker, so yeah, it's a Woodland Scenics hot wire cutter. Then I just cut out a 1/2 inch around the edge, all the way around, so just 1/2 inches around. Then I went ahead and took my hot wire cutter or my pencil and marked off, like, make it look like blocks, you know, like to blend into the rest of the tower eventually. So I just marked like 1/2 inch marks up, and then 3 1-inch long blocks on the top for the top part, just to add a bit of difference. And then of course just added texture and some cracks here and there and some stuff. So fun. Yeah, you got it. Don't mind me, guys. I had like no sleep, so I'm a little bit loopy. I'm working a graveyard right now, doing my audio file at work. Graveyard shift, nothing to do, so getting this set up. Oh, and this is where I moved locations. I moved to my other desk in my room. Actually, it's a lot nicer, right in front of my big old window and stuff, so it's great. Oh, and I use a low temp hot glue gun. Use low temp because if you've ever tried using a hot temp glue gun before, yeah, don't work out so hot. And even the low temps, like if you let it sit for a while, it'll eventually get hot and it'll start melting it. So I just found out a good spot for the door, placed that up front, then I'm just adding a little bit of hot glue to the bottom of the bricks. And here comes the long old struggle of putting down the bricks. So, and I do the first row first, so I get that laid all the way around, as you can see there. And now the bricks, you know, I kind of did them in a fast pace, stuff like that. Pretty much didn't have time for, like, you know, if I messed up or something like that, it was like that was it. So I just had to go with what I went. Even if I messed up, I just had to find a way to fix, or a quick fix. I did windows here. I cut out some window frames. I just wanted 2 for the first floor here, so I did it 2 inches wide by 2.5 inches tall. And then just did the same thing as I did with the door frame, and just add this. Now I did it just like the door frame. The reason being is because I wanted to place the last blocks on top for when I went to add the second floor. That way I could kind of add them to height. So that's why I did on the halfway inch. You could just do the whole window frame at once and just have you know, one of the spots split. But Then I picked my better side, and then I placed on the two sides there. I wanted like a blank canvas on the back of the wall for the tower. That's why I didn't put any windows. I just put the two on there on the side. And most of the time, like on the first floor of the towers, a lot of them don't even have windows. The first floor. So I just put a couple. Plus with the door there, I figured it'd be plenty of openness to it. Saves me on a few bricks too, Alright, so you can see there I got all the walls scanned. And then what I did was like some of the spots, since my bricks, I didn't take so long shaping them out and cutting them and stuff, just to help out when I go to plaster this, I added a little bit of hot glue, trying to go quick so the glue wasn't so hot, just to fill in some of the larger gaps, just to give it just so it had a seal on in between some of the larger gaps. But there you go, you can see you got the whole first floor bricked out. And actually came out pretty even and stuff for moving at an incredible pace. So, and then what I'm doing here, taking and doing a 2-inch long thing by 1/2 inch high for the top of the window frames. Like I told you before, I wanted to do those separate, so that's what I'm doing here. So I just cut out a couple 2-inch long by 1/2 inch wide, and then they're 1 inch deep like the rest of the bricks. So I just did those for the top of the window frames. Get those laid in, trying to get them so they stick up. I wanted the door frame and then the 2 window frames to kind of be my slotting sections for when I go to add the second floor. So then what I'm doing here is just kind of measuring the diameter, making sure, trying to see that I have a nice even diameter. And if I wouldn't have, it wouldn't really matter. I would have been kind of screwed anyways. So once I had the diameter on the top of that wall, on the top of those walls there, I just took my compass and then just drawed out a circle on this. This is a foam card, just regular old foam, or not foam card, foam board. You can get it like Walmart for like $1.50 or $1.89 or something like that. It's pretty cheap, I think if you buy like Elmer's, it's more. It was like there was like some for like $2.89 or almost $3 for a sheet, which still isn't bad. But there's like some other stuff that's cheap. I don't know, maybe it's just dented or something. But I bought that stuff. It seemed fine to me, That foam card's foam card to me. Foam board. So I just double checked, this is going to be the platform for the second floor, so I just wanted to make sure that this was all even up on top here. And then I also took and got it where I was going to have it, and then marked off the door frames, or the door frame, and then the 2 window frames, because those are going to be, I'm going to cut those out, because remember I did those a 1/2 inch higher so that the second floor had a place to slot in, so it fit a little snugger, or a little tighter, because I wanted to have the levels playable, so I want to be able to take this off. So I wanted to have a place where I can just set it in, know that everything, all the terrain and stuff is going to match up right. So I just took and cut out notches for that, made sure that it was nice and, nice and even, as much as I can afford time to spend on that. But just notch those 3 slots out. And then I took my paper plate just for reference, just to make sure that I was going to have room for the bricks on the outside, and then plus for my second floor, because I was going to do the bamboo flooring for that as well. So I had it cut out there, as you can see. So now I'm just going to go and trim up, just kind of double check to make sure if I needed to trim that up, which I did, I'd be able to trim up some of the edges on the bamboo things, just to fit in, just to slot in good. I didn't want it overhanging and touching the window, the top of the window frame or the door frame. So I'm just using my handy dandy hacksaw X-Acto tool thing. That thing works pretty good for cutting like balsa wood and anything like that, popsicle sticks, stuff like that. I love that like hacksaw thing, works pretty good. Dueled with the X-Acto blade, it's pretty amazing. And while I'm doing this, my son's imaginary talking to people on his cell phone on my bed. He's a goofball. Sometimes he can really be determined. He found out that like foam, you can throw that around and have a lot of fun with that. So he made sure to. That was like, we spent like an hour trying to juggle foam blocks. Later on, it was, that was probably a big waste of time. But you got to spend time with the kids, he has fun. He likes goofing around, and a lot of times I'll give him something, whatever I'm working on or whatever, give him something, and let him goof around with it. Got to start him off young, Alright, so you can see here I'm still just matching it. It's really important to have this nice and have it cylindrical, nice and circular. but make sure that it's not going to overlap or anything, or kind of hinder with the windows. Is kind of important part. So then I just took Elmer's glue again, pressed that onto there, just making sure I did it on top of the tower first to make sure it was okay with the windows, and then pressed it in, and then set a book on top of that to let that dry. Now you can just keep adding these if you wanted to keep going up the levels. So for the second floor, it's good to go with the bamboo things. So alright, that's it for this part, guys. Be prepared for the next part. Thanks again for watching. I hope you guys stay tuned, and hope you guys are enjoying it so far. So have a good one.